Hi, my name is Tamara Herod. I'm the Disability Services Manager for Lone Star College Online. I'm one of several disability service providers across the Lone Star College system, and we are here to provide services and accommodations to students. The college is committed to providing equitable access to all students. Through this video, we want to make sure that students know what Disability Services does, how to contact us, and how to request accommodations if needed. We want our process to be as straightforward as possible, and we're here to assist if you have any questions along the way. So let's get started. What is a disability? Some students know they have a disability because they might have used accommodations in high school. However, other students may not even realize that they have a disability or that they can request accommodations, as they may not have ever needed accommodations prior to college. The Americans with Disabilities Act defines a disability as any physical or mental impairment that substantially limits one or more major life activities, such as caring for oneself, performing manual tasks, walking, seeing, hearing, speaking, breathing, learning, or working. A disability can be visible or invisible. One may be born with disabilities, or they may develop later in life. Some common types of disabilities include ADHD, autism, learning disabilities like dyslexia, mental health disabilities like depression or anxiety, health disabilities like migraines, neurological disabilities like seizures or traumatic brain injuries, sensory conditions like vision or hearing loss, or a variety of other disabilities. If you have questions about a specific type of disability, please reach out to us. What if I received services in high school? How do my rights change when I enroll in college? Students with disabilities transitioning from high school to college should know that there are several differences in responsibilities and practices. A main difference is that in high school, the school district identifies students with disabilities and provides testing and support services. In college, a student must self-identify in order to receive services. Lone Star College does not test for the presence of a disability, but we can provide you with community referrals. We do not provide personal attendance or attendant services at the college level. We also do not provide transportation. In college, the student is considered an adult with privacy and confidentiality protections. Parents are welcome to be a part of the process, but they cannot request accommodations for the student. The accommodation request process is an interactive process between the Disability Services Office and the student. So the student must be fully involved and willing to request any services needed. How do I know if I would be able to get accommodations? What type of documentation do I need? In order to receive accommodations, you will have to provide current documentation from a licensed or certified professional qualified to treat and diagnose the disability. This can include medical documentation, such as a letter from your provider or a full evaluation or diagnostic report. Because K-12 and higher education laws differ, it is important to note that K-12 documentation may not fully satisfy Lone Star College's documentation requirements. If you are not sure if you have a disability or have the required documentation, contact our office for guidance. What is an accommodation? Accommodations include academic adjustments and requests for auxiliary aids and services. Accommodations are recommended on an individual basis depending on the student's unique needs. Some common accommodations include testing accommodations, such as extended time on exams and testing in an alternative setting, and accessible desks and chairs. Some common auxiliary aids and services include assistive technology and interpreting services. Reasonable accommodations are made in order to level the playing field for qualified individuals with disabilities. We do not provide any type of accommodation that would result in lowered student expectations, contradict the objectives of the course, or fundamentally alter the nature of the course or skill being assessed. How do I request accommodations? To request accommodations, please visit our Virtual Disability Assistance Center, VDAC. VDAC is the first virtual stop at all campuses for all students requesting accommodations, all new and returning students, dual credit students, and students needing accommodations for placement testing such as the TSIA or AccuPlacer. Students will also use VDAC to upload disability documentation, renew or request changes to accommodations, and retrieve and print disability service records. You can find the Virtual Disability Assistance Center by going to our Accessibility Services and Resources homepage. On this page, you can also find campus contacts. Every campus has an office that provides accommodations and resources. You can find your disability services provider by clicking on the Campus Disability Services Offices tile to find the right office to reach out to. On this page, you can also find instructions on how to request an interpreter or transcriptionist. You can find information for dual credit students and additional resources. To request accommodations through VDAC, click on the Students Requesting Accommodations tile. This will take you to the instruction page for new and returning students. New students must self-identify, request accommodations using VDAC, upload documentation, and actively engage in the process so that we can determine the most appropriate accommodation to fit your unique needs. If you scroll down the same page, you will find the instructions for returning students to renew their accommodations each semester. New students should click on the Request Accommodations Online through VDAC link. Here you will find the online student application. Students must request accommodations each semester. This is because the type of class, whether online or in person, and the subject, whether math or art, are just a few items considered when developing accommodations. This flow chart shows the collaboration between the student and the Disability Services Office. Students should complete the request for disability services and upload documentation using VDAC. A disability service provider will review your request and documentation. They will then contact you to schedule an appointment to discuss and determine appropriate accommodations. Once appropriate accommodations are determined, students must then log back into VDAC to select which accommodations they will apply to each class. Your official accommodation letter will then be emailed to you and your instructors. This process is meant to be interactive, deliberate, and collaborative between the college and the student. It is not meant to be burdensome, but it can take time. So students are strongly urged to begin the process as soon as registration opens each semester and at least 4 weeks before classes begin. By starting early, students are more likely to receive accommodations in a timely manner. However, we do accept requests for accommodations throughout each semester. It is important to know that accommodations are not retroactive. This means that accommodations begin within a reasonable time period after instructors receive the accommodation letter. Sometimes accommodations can be implemented the same day, but sometimes it may take more time to set up more complicated accommodations, such as sign language interpreters, furniture, or setting up exams in the testing center. This time frame can vary from a couple of days to a couple of weeks, just depending on the specific accommodation. So start the process early. If you have any questions about your specific accommodations, reach out to us. It is very important to actively engage and participate in all discussions and decision-making about your accommodations. We also recommend that students discuss their accommodations with their instructors to ensure the accommodations are understood and appropriately implemented. Students are not required to disclose their disability to the instructor. If students encounter any difficulty with their accommodation or its implementation, they should notify their disability services provider right away. Students are expected to be their own self-advocates. However, we are here to help students advocate for themselves and their accommodations. College is an exciting time in your life. Take charge of your education and set yourself up for success. Learn more by visiting our Disability Services website or by contacting our office. We are here to help ensure that you have a fully accessible experience in college. We look forward to working with you. See you soon.